Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Mitch and I'm an alcoholic, and I have your daily reflections for June 8th, 2021. This one is titled Opening Up to Change, and this is going to deal with step 6, which is entirely ready to have God remove these defects of character. And this could be very difficult, and it's hard for us to admit to things that are wrong with us. Our ego will stand in the way and we're embarrassed about what we've done. And it's just very difficult, so we tend to hide these things and carry them around with us, and they build up over time into resentments, or they're just things that will come to light anyway and cause you and other people a lot more pain and a lot more mistrust and all the negative things that come along with it. And that's why it is very important to know these character defects of yourself and work on them. And that's what it's all about. So here we go. Opening up to change. Self-searching is the means by which we bring new vision, action, and grace to bear upon the dark and negative sides of our natures. With it comes the development of that kind of humility that makes it possible for us to receive God's help. We find that, bit by bit, we can discard the old life, the one that did not work, for a new life that can and does work under any conditions whatever. As Bill sees at page 10, and it continues. I've been given a daily reprieve contingent upon my spiritual condition, provided I seek progress, not perfection. To become ready for change, I practice willingness, opening myself up to possibilities of change. If I realize there are defects that hinder my usefulness in AA and toward others, I become ready by meditating and receiving direction. Some of us have tried to hold on to our old ideas, and the result was nil until we let go absolutely. To let go and let God, I need only surrender my old ways to Him. I no longer fight, nor do I try to control, but simply believe that, with God's help, I am changed, and affirming this belief makes me ready. I empty myself to be full of awareness, light, and love, and I am ready to face each day with hope. This is a good one, and I have two different things in here that I like to pick from, and the first one is, if I realize there are defects that hinder my usefulness in AA and toward others, I become ready by meditating and receiving direction. And things that I notice that are hindering my progress is one, not meditating, and I find myself becoming so busy with life, and meditating is very important for me. And it doesn't mean it takes a long time to meditate. I just find myself becoming so busy and overwhelmed with all these things that I'm trying to do all the time that I don't just take that little bit of time, whether it be 30 seconds or 5 minutes or 10 minutes. For me, a good 10 or 15 minutes helps a lot, especially if I can get myself up out of bed in the morning and do a little meditation before I start my day. That really helps. And I'm just kind of struggling with that lately because I just moved into my own place, and it's different because I've never really lived alone in my whole life. So it's a little different, and I am just getting used to it, you know. And two, blaming my feelings and actions on other people or scenarios. I can find myself doing that a lot lately. If I'm wrong in something, or I make a mistake and I've hurt someone, or find myself becoming bitter, I've noticed I could start trying to find other ways to blame and project my feelings at, like not taking responsibility for my actions. So if I do something wrong, I know I did something wrong, but then I can sit and start thinking, well, I wouldn't have done that if this hadn't happened, or I wouldn't have acted that way if they hadn't done this. And it's like, bottom line is, I did it. And that's me not being in control of my own feelings and my own actions. And I'm not taking the time to put myself in other people's shoes, or be that being self-aware about my feelings and letting go of my control over those feelings. And of course I'm not perfect, and it is progress, not perfection. So that doesn't mean it gives me an excuse to do things, but I've noticed that's one of the things, blaming other people for my feelings in other scenarios as well. And three, spending too much time alone and not talking to my sponsor or those close to me. And I do talk to my sponsor, and I do talk to those close to me, but I've noticed I can become too consumed within my own self, and that's not healthy. And that's why hungry, angry, lonely, and tired makes sense, because the lonely part is something I'm getting used to, and my ego can easily let me say, I know exactly what I'm doing, when I do know what I'm doing, but I don't know everything. I'll never know everything. And just because I'm doing well and I have a lot of sobriety and I'm growing spiritually and mentally daily doesn't mean I'm not a human and gonna make these mistakes. And I need to have people to talk to about it. Even if it's just little things that are bothering me, those little things will eventually build up to bigger things. And then it goes back into my old way of thinking and me blaming other things and me trying to justify why I do these certain things, instead of just reaching out to my sponsor or reaching out to someone like an accountability partner and then being like, duh, dude, why would you do that? You need that other person to talk to, because I know my own mind making decisions isn't always the best mind. And 4, again, being negative. There's no reason to be negative about things. And I will always have times where I get negative, at work it can be like that. And you just notice the negativity is bad. You're constantly being negative about something and you're complaining to people about stuff. And I know this to be true because I just know it. And it's pointless, especially if it's the same thing you're complaining about over and over and over again. Is that something you can change, or is it something you can't change? And if you can't change it, then you accept it, like the Serenity Prayer says. You have to accept it. So spending any more time and energy complaining about it or being negative about it is not going to help it. And we can find ourselves finding the right people to complain about these things to, so we can get that validation that our feelings are right about being negative or angry about something, when it's not the case. And negative energy rubs off on people. Same goes for if you're being around someone that's negative. No one likes it. So that's tough. And the second part in here that I wanted to touch on is to let go and let God. I need only surrender my old ways to Him. I no longer fight, nor do I try to control, but simply believe that with God's help, I am changed, and affirming this belief makes me ready. Letting go and letting God. Number 1, know that I am still and always will be a work in progress for the rest of my life. And there is nothing negative about that. We should always be trying to learn and grow and better ourselves. And none of us will be perfect at the end of our life, but the best we can do is try to spread positivity, hope, and wisdom to all those that we can. And we all pay it forward that way. And we all are one, and we all are connected. We can all learn something from someone, and it's so vital for all of us to help each other. And letting go and letting God, we have to trust that process. Number 2, stop questioning my life and the path it is headed in. Because like anything, it can change like that. And all of a sudden, all of your plans are just gone in an instant, and it can happen. And you have to be aware of that, and you have to be able to roll with the punches and don't fall back into that old lifestyle and your old things that you would do to deal with that pain, which are usually bad ones. You have to trust God through the bad, just like we do through the good. We have those times where we know God is there. We know something is good. We feel it. Yet we can find ourselves not really thanking God in those times. We thank other things like ourselves for doing this. And for me, I'm not pushing a certain religion or anything, but for me, it is God. And God has got me where I am today. And God forgives me, and I have to understand that for my mistakes, and I have to accept that and trust God and trust the process and the way my life is going, because I did not see I would be here in this spot in my life right now a year ago, 2 years ago. I mean, I was very scared 2.5 years ago. Had no idea what was going to happen until I heard this one guy speaking at AA, and he was talking about all these felony charges he was facing, and how everything was different, and he just believed in God and trusted the process, stayed sober. And I am here now where I'm supposed to be. This is where I'm supposed to be, and I need to focus and be self-aware of myself and my feelings and my mistakes that have led me to this point, but also my positive things that have led me to this point. And all this is a learning lesson that I've received from God, from my Creator, and I have to trust that and pay attention and listen and have that daily reprieve. I have to listen to God. I have to see what I'm supposed to be learning in this process right now. And 3, When I do something wrong, promptly admit it. Do not hold it in. Like I said earlier, you can't hold that stuff in. And if it's something that you've done that's wrong and you still don't feel like you're going to get in trouble for, that's something you still have to say. You have to bring it up, because even if no one ever finds out about it, that's horrible, and you're holding it inside, and that's poison. That's poison for your body, and you're gonna have that carried around with you, and it's not gonna be good. So as much as we don't want to admit to things we've done and are embarrassed about it, the truth is the best, and truth is the highest form of love. And I've been bad with that, and truth is very important. And you know, this one's very good. So we have to be entirely ready to have God remove these defects of character. And I'm going to end this with a great quote from a journalist and author of 10 nonfiction books. Her name is Germany Kent, and it is, "Let your life reflect the faith you have in God. Fear nothing and pray about everything. Be strong, trust God's word, and trust the process." I love you guys so much. Thank you. And one day at a time, please subscribe. Please share this with people that you know in recovery that could use it. And please like the video. All this stuff is important to me. And hit the notification button. Not selling anything, just trying to share recovery and sobriety, you know. I thank you for listening. I love you guys. One day at a time. Take care. Peace out.